Hey, so you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas, but you don't really want to live in Dallas, Texas. That's right, you want the safety and comfort of the suburbs and even the school districts, but you're not really sure which one to choose because there's so many good ones. Well, in this video, we're going to take you through each and every one. That way you can get a good idea and hopefully find some clarity on which Dallas suburb might fit best for you. So make sure you stay tuned all the way through the end, and we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Dallas, Texas, then please subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Dallas. My name is Levi, and my partner Jimmy and I, we get calls and emails every single day from people just like you and you and you and you. Looking to make a move to Dallas. We absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Dallas. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, we're covering all of the Dallas suburbs. That way, if you're looking for something a little bit more of the safety and comfort of the suburbs and the school districts, then this video is for you. So let's just get right into it, and let's jump in my computer so I can show you on the map. All right, so here we are taking a look at Dallas and the surrounding areas. There's quite a few suburbs. Of course, the most popular being Frisco, Plano, McKinney, and Allen, possibly Rockwall. It was a little bit more popular back in the day, but we're going to start right over here. Let's start with Forney because it's not really the most well known, but at the same time, it is gathering a lot of steam right now. Ooh. Let me clear that out. All right, so Forney's right over here, as you can see, and it is really only about 20 minutes from downtown. So if you take a look, as you see right there, you just jump onto 80. 80 merges into I-30, and right there you're into downtown Dallas within about 20 minutes. It's a straight shot. Now, if you're going to be commuting, then of course anything going into Dallas, and that's really the case for any of these suburbs. If you're going to be working in downtown Dallas, traffic flow is going to be most congested coming from all these directions, whether it's Forney, coming from Rockwall, coming from Plano, McKinney. If you're going into Dallas, of course, you're going with traffic in the morning time, so that's always going to be the most congested. And then going out in the evenings or early afternoons, a lot of people try to get a jump after around between 3, 4, 5. But here is the situation now. After COVID, actually, the traffic has been reduced quite a bit. And that's one of the things that I always found that I liked about Dallas is it doesn't seem as heavily trafficked as other cities I've been to, especially Austin. Austin is extremely congested, and you could sit in the traffic for hours. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in New York. I've sat in terrible traffic in Chicago and New York. In Chicago, it didn't matter which way you're going, which time of day, trying to leave the city in the morning, it seems like you'd be caught in traffic. It seemed like almost as many people lived out or worked out in the outer areas of Chicago as they did in the city. So no matter which direction I would go, I was always stuck in traffic in Chicago. I didn't like it at all. Same thing with New York. Especially on Long Island with only just one road going down the middle of the island. So Dallas, I really don't think is that bad. But again, if you're coming from the suburbs and going into Dallas, you're going to hit some traffic. But it has reduced quite a bit. So if we talk about Forney a little bit more here, you can see it's still kind of country. So if you're looking for that country feel and you want to possibly even pick up some land, then Forney's probably going to be a great option for you because it is booming right now. They say Kaufman County, which is, covers a good portion of this area right out here, that Kaufman County right now is the third fastest growing county in the United States right now. So there's a lot of area that's being developed, a ton of new construction when you go through Forney. Everywhere you go, new construction. Actually, we've got a full blog tour on Forney. You're definitely going to want to check that out after this video. But we show you a little bit around town, show you some of the new construction. I saw on that blog tour, I featured a home that was, I think, around $800,000 just right outside of town and had 5 acres. So if you're looking for some acreage, Forney is definitely the place where you can still get some good deals on there. They've got this little historic downtown. There's not a lot going on there, but great for a great little bakery and coffee shop down there. Another little pizza place. It's right by one of the schools, and then they've kind of got the old historic town, which is going to be right around here, off of Main Street. Should be in this area, if I can find it now. Yeah, it should be just right over here. There's Main Street right there. So this is kind of like your old historic town right here. You can come all the way down to Broad. This is, let's see, you've got this huge park, this huge community park right here in the center. We feature that on the blog as well, kind of show you that they've got all these areas for playing games and soccer and fields. You see you got all these trails that go all the way around there. So that's right in the middle of town, right down from Main Street. And then you jump right across over here, and this is where kind of a lot of the new construction commercial buildings are. So it's kind of like the new side of town. Everything's shiny and new. And then, of course, you come out here, and where's Devonshire? It's out here. So Devonshire right here we feature on our blog as well. A lot of new construction. This is a master plan community. Really nice. They've got some cool little lakes in there, some hiking as well. And so that's kind of the pride and joy of Forney is Devonshire right out there. So you're not too far to get into the new construction area, the commercial area down here, where you're going to find your Starbucks and your Chipotle and kind of things like that. And then, you go into old downtown just right across the highway, and you're going to, find some of your older buildings and enjoy some of the local eats there. Now you come up to here and you look at Rockwall. Again, we've got a full blog tour on Rockwall. You should check that out as well. And what I love about Rockwall is you are going to get the best sunsets in all of Dallas right here. Because, of course, you've got the west on this side, right? Here's the west over here. And the sunset, it rises and then it falls over there. Let's see if we can make a little sun here. Pretty much, there you go. There's your sunset. And the thing I really love about Rockwall, too, is that, my biggest complaint, if you've seen a couple of our other videos, my biggest issue with Dallas is it's pretty flat. You don't see mountains. You're not looking at ocean. So it's kind of like the lack of landscape to me is the biggest downside to Dallas. But Rockwall is really pretty hilly. This area right now is you kind of drive up and down some areas, but it's pretty elevated. And there's a great spot right out here off of I-30 that you can sit there and pull your car up, and you could have a picnic on this little field, this grassy area, and you could enjoy the sunset. It's super nice. And then also you've got the Harbor District over here, all right here. Oh, you see the Harbor Rockwall. We show you that in the full vlog tour. This is all built up with restaurants and bars and that you could also hang out and enjoy, drink on a patio and just overlook the water there, watch the sunset. It's amazing. They've got docks out here so you can pull up on your boat and during the summertime and park your boat and then just walk right up there and enjoy all of these different restaurants and bars. They've even got the movie theater right there. So that's pretty cool to have access to that. And then, of course, you have a lot of more commercial area just right up the road. So no shortage of things to do as well. Right here, this patch, we featured this in the vlog right now. They're just starting to develop it, but this is going to be the Crystal Lagoon. It's going to be ready in about 2 years, 2023, but I'm telling you that's going to be here before you know it. This is going to just be a whole community with over 1,000 units. It's going to be condos, townhomes, apartments. You're going to have the Sapphire Bay Marina. They've got the show fountain just in the Crystal Lagoon is going to be an acre itself. And they're going to have sandy beaches in there. And then, of course, if you're just going to get some of the best sunsets as well, because you got that gap of water right there. where the sun's going to be setting on the west side all the time. So that's pretty cool. Uh, the reason it's called Rockwall actually is whenever they were founding Rockwall, they were doing some digging and they found literally a rock wall that was buried the length of the county, which almost is you know, I mean, it's a long rock wall underground. And so there's a lot of speculation and conspiracy theories and things like that as far as who actually built that. Some scientists say that it's natural and it just happened to form with kind of perfect lines in it that make it look like a kind of a large brick wall. But others are saying Mayans or Indians or aliens even could have built that. So pretty cool. They preserved a little bit of it in the historic downtown, which is going to be more up in this area, right around here. So you've got your historic downtown of Rockwall, which is a great little area as well. And then of course you can see plenty of area for your home out there. A ton of new construction. Rockwall too. I showed you on the full vlog tour. I showed you down in Heath. There's some lakefront lots. So if you want to get on the lake, I mean, this is absolutely awesome area if you want to find a lake lot or find a house on the lake directly, because it's also got some elevation throughout there in Heath, and that's really kind of a part of Rockwall. It's just it's just a kind of a new city considered south of there, and again building with new construction, and so there's definitely some opportunities left there. So that pretty much covers Rockwall. And then of course you're right on, well, forgot to mention the lake, right? So you got Lake Ray Hubbard right here, which is pretty good sized lake. It's one of the bigger ones in Dallas area. So you've got quick and easy access to Lake Ray Hubbard. So you can do lots of boating activities, have lots of fun on the lake itself. That's a great place to do that. And if you want to come out here to Lake Tawakakoni, then if you want to just get out of town a little bit, then you can, you don't have that far to get over here as well. So you can, and then you got Lavon Lake just north of you on top of that. So again, another large lake. You can see a lot of preserve around there, but still you can find some little estates, Lavon Beach Estates, Cody Acres. I mean, things like these that you can still find some lake lots as well. And that's going to be in the Lavon area, Farmersville, Princeton. What's really getting built up right now is Wiley, Lucas, Parker, and Murphy. A ton of new construction out there. People getting ready to move out, going from Plano or Allen, or even McKinney. They're starting to populate this whole area. Really is becoming very popular right now. So a ton of new construction going on in those areas. And then of course, again, if you want to be on the lake, then that's going to be, I think, something that you would want to consider. But yeah, if you're looking for new construction, brand new construction, I mean, anywhere on this east side, clearly Dallas continues to move north. And, but again, as the further north you get, you're starting to get close to Oklahoma and you're getting further away from Dallas. So now a lot of this is moving to the east here. You can see with Forney being 20 minutes to Dallas, Rockwall's about 20 minutes to Dallas. Wiley, that's probably going to be a little bit longer. The downside is on the east side, it does take you a little bit. You've got the airport right over here. So that's, a little bit of the downside of living on the east, because with Forney, you've got to go all the way through downtown Dallas. But hey, if you hit that drive in the morning, that I think that's one of the most beautiful drives, is seeing the Dallas skyline in the morning sun when you're heading to the airport. Because I live in Old East Dallas, and I'll just kind of hit the highway right here, take 35, 114, or to 183, and go over to the airport. And in the morning when the day is breaking, the sun is rising, all the glass buildings in Dallas, is just beautiful to see that sight. So that's definitely something you got to check out. But Rockwall, Wiley, Lucas, and again, all of these, Rockwall's got a great school district. Football, it's got 2 all-star football teams. So if that's something that you've got kids that play sports, then Rockwall's a great area for that. Great rated schools on there. Wiley, some of these new construction areas like Wiley might still be building up their school ratings, but again, you're still going to be in a great area. And just know if for some reason they kind of have a lower rating, it's likely due to the fact that they're still, just developing a lot of that area. So now we get to some really popular ones, of course, which is Plano. And Plano is one of the biggest suburbs, almost 300,000 people. So just just think of that. If you go back to Forney's around 20,000, and Rockwall's around, I think, 45,000 or so. So if you're looking for something a little bit kind of more of that small town feel, then Forney, Rockwall, Wiley, these new areas out there are going to give you the new construction options you're looking for, but also with 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 less population. You get into Plano, you're talking about 300,000, McKinney's 200,000, Frisco's 200,000. Actually, Allen is, I think, just about 100,000. But it's kind of a smaller area. This kind of covers Allen right there. Plano is a pretty big chunk right through there, and McKinney's a pretty good chunk as well. So, and then got a little crazy on there, but even Frisco. But Plano, pretty awesome. It's going to be closest to Dallas, as you can see. Also borders the Dallas North Tollway. But if you think about East Plano, this is kind of the older area. Also because you have the historic downtown is going to be right over here, where actually it says it's Plano. So that's a little cool area. Again, if you like history and you want some of the historic parts, then you're going to get into Plano. But of course, when you have a toll road, things are going to be more expensive. So if you move over and Plano does border the toll road right there. So you've got Plano that covers a pretty good chunk of this area. And over here on the tollway, this is going to be a lot of your pricier area of Plano. And because you've got the Willow Bend Mall over here, those shops of Willow Bend Park. You see all this green area. Some of the biggest homes and nicest homes in Plano are in Willow Bend, and here's the mall and this whole shopping center of Willow Bend. So high-end shopping there. You can see just right over here. You got Whole Foods, Berkeley Square, Panera Bread, Market Street, Starbucks, Nordstrom Rack. So again, this kind of gives you an idea. This is going to be a significant area of Plano that is going to be much more pricier. But then you've got all these areas throughout here that you're still going to find great options in Plano. Any of the school districts in Plano are going to be, pretty good. So that's something you don't have to worry about. And then you have over here, if you like the historic part of town, you've got this Oak Point Park as well. Not that you have to live over here because it's still accessible by the other areas of Plano, but this is over 800 acres. So, if you like to hike and bike and do everything like that outdoors, then you've got this whole Oak Point Park. Actually, if you check out our Plano vlog, which we have a Plano vlog as well, then that kind of gives you, we do a little drone shot over that, but take you through a couple of the neighborhoods. So that's pretty cool to have access to that. And again, you're not that far of a shot from Lavon Lake, Lake Ray Hubbard. You're probably more likely going to visit Louisville Lake at this point. If you're in Plano, that's where most people tend to head over to Louisville Lake, which is pretty much the most popular lake in Dallas. And again, you see all the lakes. We love lake life. So, even though my gripe is no oceans or mountains, we have lakes, and we love lake life here in Texas, especially in the summer whenever it's hot. It's always nice and cool on the lake. So if you're worried about the heat, just go get on the lake. You won't worry about it so much. But Plano, about 300,000 people, and very well developed, but still a couple of new construction neighborhoods. Other than that, the new construction is going to be sporadic throughout some of the neighborhoods, tearing down some of the older homes built probably in the 60s or 70s or 80s. And so, there's still some development opportunities, but some really well-established neighborhoods in Plano on top of that. And again, school districts are going to be just fine. Really, really top-notch. Then you've got Allen. As I mentioned, this is kind of the smaller of everything in between here. So their population is only around 100,000. They've got this cool area, Waters Creek. And actually, if you go check out our Allen blog, we kind of feature in there. I sit down at Frog's Cafe, cool little local coffee shop, and have some coffee there. Tell you about the market, kind of walk you around, this whole area, which is just a collection of shops, restaurants, and bars right off the highway. And you have some great neighborhoods in here. I actually take you down here and show you some new construction homes that are right around 500 to a million. So if you want to be in the suburbs but still have close access to kind of things to do right there, that's a great option. Oh, and that reminds me, I almost forgot about Legacy West over here in Plano. Sometimes this gets covered in with Frisco because you're right on the border of Frisco. Here's Frisco up here, and then here's Plano, right? But then right there, you've got the shops at Legacy and Legacy West. And of course, this is all brand new area with a ton of shops and restaurants, a little bit of some nightlife where people like to hang out. But again, it's really kind of family oriented, so you're going to find a lot of couples and things like that, in the area. But again, they've got the Lululemon, of course, Legacy Food Hall. My partner Jimmy loves Legacy Food Hall. He can't shut up about it. It's a collection. You go in there, I don't know. There's like 50 different food vendors in there. I don't know why it's there, but I mean it's pretty popular. You go in there, it's always packed. You got Fogo de Chao right there. You've got several. I mean, it just goes on and on. True Food, that's what I was looking for. True Food is over here, which I really love. True Food Kitchen, it's one of my favorite restaurants. And then of course you have some Tex-Mex options over here, which is always nice to enjoy. So that's great for being in Plano, especially if you're over here on the west side, the pricier area. You can just jump up the tollway and hit up the Legacy West and the shops at Legacy. That's a lot of fun to do. You've got just north of Allen is McKinney, another pretty popular hotspot. So, that's something, again, about 200,000 people. It's probably got the biggest historic district of all of these suburbs up here, and probably the busiest, where they really take advantage of. McKinney really captures and preserves their historic district. That's I really like about it, because they've got a lot of great bars and restaurants, things to do in the historic district, and they have a ton of historic homes all throughout this whole area. So that's the cool thing about McKinney, is that you've got these two main streets. Really, a lot of your historic area retail is in there, and then a lot of this neighborhood through here is historic homes. So you can find a lot of 110-year-old homes that are really, really, really cool. I like them a lot. Found one the other day for under 500,000. Actually, we've got a McKinney vlog as well, so you should check that out, and you'll be able to see that. So that's something you could definitely take advantage of. So that's going to be more of the historic side, the older side, again on the east side of 75, and then you're going to have a lot of your newer areas getting built up on the west side. You can see a lot of retail here at 380 and 75. You've got Collin College. I think that's the biggest campus for the community colleges here in Dallas. So you've got a pretty big intersection going on right there. And you can see not a lot of development up here, but it's starting to move up that area now as well. So you've got Melissa and Anna, which are really starting to take off. Salina and Prosper, those two areas. So Melissa, Anna, Salina, and Prosper move a ton of new construction. So as I said, we're getting new construction, Rockwall and Forney out here in the east. This is where you're getting a ton, because of course you've got Frisco. We'll get to that here in a second. But Prosper, Salina, Anna, Melissa, if you want to be further north, now just keep in mind, let's see, Dallas Historic Downtown. I mean, 45 miles, 47 minutes, and that's going to be with no traffic at all. So just keep that in mind. If you don't mind that, once you get up to Anna, once you're in Anna, you're pretty much going to be there. You're probably going to do your schools, your shopping. I mean, everything. You probably rarely make it down to Dallas unless it's to go shopping, for a weekend or something like that. Or unless you want to just drive back and forth. But you'll probably hit a little traffic on the weekends even because, a lot of people go into downtown Dallas from these areas. But again, if you're looking for new construction and you want to be north with lower populations, then Melissa, Anna, Salina, Prosper are going to be some good options for you. Well, and now that brings us over here to Frisco, the suburb everybody always wants to know about. And Frisco's, it's right at 200,000 right now, and it's mostly developed significantly in the last 15 to 20 years. It was a lot of farmland, right at 20 years ago. I remember going up there in 2000, and the only thing that was up there, it was a Chief Auto Parts. And that was just whenever they got bought out by AutoZone. So if you don't even know what Chief Auto Parts is, then you're probably under 30 years old. You'd have to probably be 35 years old or above. So I'm giving away my age a little bit, but you'd have to remember what Chief. By the way, if you're watching this and you remember Chief Auto Parts, then comment below. Let us know. Let us know you're in the club. You're in the Chief Auto Parts Club. So I remember, and because I used to clean floors for Chief Auto Parts back in the day. So right whenever I got out of high school, right before I went into the military, and so cleaning floors for a year after high school made me realize I needed to do something else with my life, and so went into the military. But I cleaned a Chief Auto Parts somewhere up here, and it was pretty much the only thing out there. If I would have had some money at the time, I should have bought some land, but oh well. But Frisco, of course, just completely boomed. It's a master plan suburb, so they take everything in consideration there. There's restrictions and covenants on everything as far as the building, so they have to look a certain way. They have to, just fall in line. So there's a lot of, it can be different, but it's going to be uniform. So it's really well done. You're not going to see a lot of power lines in all of Frisco. Pretty much all the suburbs, everywhere you go, they buried all the lines run underground, which I like a lot because I don't like looking at power lines. I think they're kind of ugly in my opinion, but to see them just strung all over the place whenever everything's run underground, and then you got the trees growing up in the neighborhood, then it just makes for a better look. But you've got so much to do in Frisco. And that's why people that when they're in Frisco, they love Frisco and they don't leave Frisco. So I've got friends in Frisco. They never, ever come to Dallas. I mean, and I will go see them in Frisco, and that's about the only way I'll ever get to see them is if I go to Frisco. They just won't leave Frisco. But it really started right here with the Stonebriar Mall at the Tollway and 121. And this is a massive, massive mall that they built out and all of the retail and everything around it. So it's just quite a bit, and anything up the Tollway is going to be a ton of retail. You can see even here at Preston and Lebanon Road, more retail. You see how these yellow spots kind of highlight the concentration of commercial. Think over here, this is Starwood right there. This was kind of like one of the original OG, really nice neighborhoods. So that's something that is, if you want kind of like that old school, super nice neighborhood in Frisco. Starwood is that neighborhood, but still, it doesn't matter where you're at in Frisco. There is a ton of new construction still to this day, but still well-established communities. I've got friends. They live off of El Dorado. There's going to be this whole area, should be called Newman Village. There it is, Newman Village. Super nice. I mean, you're talking about mostly 900,000 and up homes, but gated community. A lot of still some lots left in there. Great area. You're part of the best schools. Frisco is some of the best schools in Texas, if not the nation, but definitely in Texas. They're just the public school system is great. They've got 10 high schools and 17 middle schools and 42 elementary schools. So actually, you should check out. Not only do we have a full vlog tour on Frisco, but you should check out our interview, our pros and cons with a Frisco housewife, one of my good friends, Stacy, and she tells us about the good and bad of living in Frisco for 10 years. And one thing she loved about the schools is because there's so many schools, she says that each school really feels kind of small and tight knit, even though Frisco has 200,000. I mean, with 10 high schools, think about that. With 10 high schools, then it does allow, smaller sized classes. And so she really felt like, especially 42 elementary schools, she felt like whenever the kids were growing up, that they're getting really good personalized attention from their teachers, and they've got teachers that really care. So, it's just she just loved that aspect of it, and she loved the neighborliness of all of her people. That's the thing in Texas. Southern charm is a reality. Yes, people will talk to you randomly everywhere and have conversations with you in the grocery line, with the grocery store clerk, and you'll be standing behind them. So if you're coming from the Northeast and you have a small amount of patience, just be prepared. If you're coming from California, usually you guys are talkers, so probably not a problem there. But otherwise, it happens. All the communities are pretty tight knit, and so and you still got some areas here. Not much of Frisco really borders the lake, so not a lot of lakefront lots in Frisco. But you could come to like Hackberry, Little Elm, the Colony. These are more of the smaller areas that border the lake if you're looking for something closer to the lake. So, and then you could come over here even to Flower Mound, Highland Village. Again, these are just very well developed communities. I mean, Flower Mound about 10 years ago was kind of the rage. I mean, everybody was moving to Flower Mound. It's kind of leveled off a little bit since then, so just something to keep in mind. But you still kind of see all the proximity here to, to downtown Dallas. Flower Mound, you still got, a little ways, but you do have good proximity to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, so that's right there. That's just something to keep in mind. And last but not least, you've got South Lake. And South Lake right here, really the reason we don't talk about it much, and because it's not in Dallas, it's actually in Tarrant County, which is the Fort Worth side of the Metroplex. But it is hands down best school districts in the nation. I think it's is it number 2 or 3 in Texas. I mean, it's up there. Great football programs. People like Terry Bradshaw. I think Drew Brees. I think Peyton Manning, or no, not, Sean Payton from the Saints. Has a house there. So it is super big on high school football. So that's definitely but the whole area is pricey, but there's some great options. You see, right as you go into South Lake, it's got this really cool area, all this commercial. They got the town square, shops, restaurants, bar. They kind of concentrated it all right there, right off the highway, and you can see you're super close to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. So if you're a traveler, a frequent traveler, that you're going to have next to no commute on there. And again, people that are in South Lake, stay in South Lake. You're right here close to Grapevine Lake. I think one of my favorite lakes here because of the hiking and the biking and the mountain biking trails. So you've got a quick shot to Grapevine Lake. That is a lot of fun to hang out with, or to hang out and do things on Grapevine Lake. So another great option there as well. And man, that covers quite a bit, wouldn't you say? And then I could even touch a little bit here on Coppell. You're going to check out, we have a full vlog tour on Coppell, which is actually the #1 suburb in all of Dallas. And so that's not that well known. It is considered the best, one of the best school districts in Dallas. It, actually, number one, right behind Highland Park. But the thing is Highland Park is not considered a part of Dallas. So when you actually look at the best school district in Dallas, Coppell is the top, and they rank as the best suburb. So there's a lot to do in Coppell. Check out our full vlog tour. They've got nature preserves, these huge parks. We cover all of that in our vlog. This whole lake area down here, North Lake, they've got an amphitheater, everything you could imagine going on right there. I mean, it just goes, they've got this historic, this kind of quasi-historic area where they've got some historic parts to it, but then they also have new construction, but made that new construction look old. So it's really pretty cool area there as well, and you get some great priced homes in Coppell. Again, the best school district in all of Dallas, and they're number 6 in the state of Texas for school districts. So top notch. They compete a lot with Southlake, so you can see. And then you've got in the middle, Grapevine actually doesn't have high schools. Depending on where you live in Grapevine, you're either going to go to Coppell High School or you're going to go to Southlake High School. So if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, we've got a Grapevine vlog as well. You'll want to check that out because that's smack dab in the middle of Coppell and Southlake, and right there at the airport. And of course, Grapevine claims to Grapevine Lake, but they're also Grapevine is well known for its wineries. Probably the large, yes, there's wineries here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you want to do some wine tours and go do some tastings, then that's where Grapevine gets its name. So something you definitely want to check out there too. And that pretty much wraps up our suburb tour of Dallas. So I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please comment that, and please give us a thumbs up. I feel like I'm about to run out of breath. Talk so much on that video. So if you stuck it out through the end, really appreciate you. Give us a thumbs up if you found that helpful. Of course, there's a lot more to know about each and every one, but we wanted to keep this as short and concise as possible. So again, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, please give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd be happy to help you out in any way possible. So until next time, we hope to see you around town.